but you've got to be ready for anything. Seconds before action. He said, okay, I think I'll this accent. Oh my God, that would have been something I would have loved to have had weeks before I shot, and I would have nailed the accent.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Talent Agent Talk, where we are bringing you educational lessons and behind-the-scenes real-life stories from film and television. I'm your host, Jason Lockhart, and a talent agent. And today we have a very special guest, Miss Cat Dyer.
Hello.
Hi, Cat. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm so happy to be here.
What an honor to have you.
Oh, please. Thank you for asking.
I feel like we've had quite the journey.
We have.
But your journey began way before I was ever on board.
But we've had a good one.
We have had a good one.
And we're going to continue to have a good one.
We will.
Right?
We will, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be pitching you in the
All right.
next 5 minutes. Well, about 17 when this is done. I would love to, because you're known as Connie Frasier, or famous as Connie Frasier from Stranger Things. I even have your little baseball card in my office. And that was before my time, before
Yes.
I was even here in Atlanta. Can you take me back to that audition? Anything that you remember?
Yes, the audition scene was the diner scene, and all I got was that scene. So as the actor, I had to figure out, why is this woman walking into a restaurant and shooting a man? Right? I had to make that believable. So, of course, I had to have my backstory. I did my actor's crafting or prep work or whatever you want to call it. And it worked. It got me an in-person callback, which was great. And, of course, it wasn't called Stranger Things. It was called the Untitled Duffer Brothers Project. And no one knew who the Duffer Brothers were. So it was just another job, right? It was another job. And I went to the callback, and it was Chase and Tara. And after I did the callback with Carmen Cuba, Chase walked me out and he said, "You're the only person we're looking at." And I said, "Don't say that to me. That is the kiss of death. Stop it." I said, "Goodbye. See you around." And I booked it. It was just another job. It was just a booking. I booked 2 episodes, which was great. Then they wrote me into 3, which is, from the heavens, because they liked what I did.
They liked what you were doing.
They liked what I did with Connie Frasier. And when unfortunately, they killed me in the end. Spoiler alert.
But they did bring you back in season 4. Remember?
Well, they did.
We got
There was
that one more day.
That's right. And it was after I wrapped and we were doing pictures and selfies with various and sundry people. The Duffers, they were so complimentary. And as actors, we don't get that a lot. They said, "We had no idea that this role could be what it is." I'm like, what? So you really hit it out in the stratosphere? I'm like, I was verklempt, if you will. I went back to my honey wagon, and I was so emotional. I called Jason. I'm like, he said, "Oh my God, what happened? Did you get fired?" No, they were complimenting me.
Oh.
It was so kind, and I didn't get that all the 5 episodes that I shot. I didn't get any of that. They were kind and they were nice, but I had no idea that they loved what I was doing. So you have to be open to things as actors.
Well, yeah. So what do you feel like you were learning as Connie, or throughout the course of that season? Is there anything that you felt like our audiences or some younger actors might gain from that experience you had?
You really have to be ready. I did my actor's work, and I have what I call my 3 Ps. I'm professional, I'm prepared, and I come from a place of peace, meaning I have to be at peace within myself and my brain. I have to walk onto set and be ready for anything, and be as calm and as accepting and as open as I possibly can. And that's what I did. That's what I did for Stranger Things. Okay, I've got this other episode. Let me go in. Let me do it. Let me be the best that I can possibly be. And it worked. I mean, that's how I work every time, no matter what it is. No matter what it is.
If you're an actor, great news, because our virtual actor summit is coming up quickly. It is going to be September 6th, 7th, and 8th. And early bird pricing is right now, but I'm also going to throw in a $15 promo because you are listening to this podcast. If you're an actor that's wanting really solid strategy and tactics to move your career forward, then this event is going to be for you. Just imagine a 3-day virtual event that's completely immersive, meaning there's going to be participation with different instructors. You're going to be actually working on auditions. You're going to be able to meet other community members here in the Southeast and industry pros that can help give you the knowledge and wisdom to move your career forward. So if this sounds like something that you think would be beneficial to you, head to the link in the description right now. Don't forget to use that $15 off promo code, and I can't wait to see you at our virtual actor summit coming up.
And no one knew what that show was going to do. It's funny, I was at LSU at the time, and I was a TA for Joe Crest. And he was teaching acting for the camera. He's like, I got to go up to Atlanta. I'm shooting this show. And he's got his glasses. I don't know what it is. Winona Ryder. It's weird. Sci-fi. I don't know. Can you teach my class? I was like, yeah, okay. I had no idea what he was talking about. And then boom, it comes out.
Boom. I knew when I watched the first few episodes. Well, I knew at the diner scene, I knew we were in for a ride when Connie, takes care of
Your character does
Benny.
180.
Yeah.
I mean, it's before I knew you, so I just thought this sweet woman showing up to take care of the child,
Yeah.
and then the gun. I mean,
Right. Yeah. Did my audition, the roles that came to me after that have changed too, which is great, which I love. But yeah, I was, I was just open and remained positive for everything, and I have to remain that way. I have to. What we do is nerve-wracking.
but you can choose for it to not be as much.
Yes.
And I think it's important to bring up, potentially some of your other credits because she's a very valuable guest here. I mean, Kat is also a partner of Drama Inc., which is one of the best acting schools in the whole world. It really is, and it's based right here in the Southeast.
Thank you.
Of course.
The world might be a little hyperbolic,
world,
but
I think
okay.
you're doing
thank
big
you.
things for hundreds of people.
Thank you.
The four of you. Mad respect for all of you.
Thank you.
So I feel like if there's any other great lesson you've learned from another set, I would love to share for our viewers.
Well, let's talk about Reptile.
Yeah.
Booked that. So happy. Played the wife of Eric Bogosian. So awesome. Great. And then before we started shooting, I booked it weeks before we started shooting. And they asked me to to rehearse and do some square dancing. Okay.
Which was never part of the audition process, never part of the booking information.
No. So I said, okay, I'll go square dance with Benicio del Toro. Hello. And Alicia Silverstone and Eric Bogosian. And going to that first rehearsal was definitely nerve-wracking. That was very vulnerable.
Why? Because you thought you were going to mess up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm putting myself in this vulnerable situation of dancing and square dancing. It's fun. Let me just say, it was a lot. It turned out to be so much fun.
Is there anything you did that made you more comfortable?
Well, I realized that all of us showed up for that rehearsal, the names I just mentioned, nervous.
Wow. Great.
Nervous. We're all like, okay, I mean, Benicio would say, okay, wait, when do we turn? How do we? So all of us were on a level playing field, which I was very, very thankful for. And it made it fun. We had a blast. And of course, there's that much of it in the film. Unfortunately, all that time, 5 weeks. But it was fun.
For moments.
For moments.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was a tight shot on them, which of course that's what the scene was about. But I think you see me twirling in the background somewhere.
I love that you were nervous, though, because it also just shows how humble you are. And I think the moment that you recognize I'm nervous and you use it as oh, that's okay. I'm nervous, and that's a good thing because I'm learning something new. You know you're going to be okay. You have a ridiculously long resume. You know you're going to be fine. You just got to get through it. How do you get through it,
All will be well. I've got lots of mantras, all will be well. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You
fall down and go to the hospital and lose the role. Chances are very slim.
Very slim. I don't know if you can fall down and square dancing.
Yeah. I don't know too many people are rushing, do they call ambulances to square dances very often?
Maybe for some aged people.
Maybe.
Our instructors were seniors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Never heard of Benicio del Toro. And they were like, okay, who are these people? It was sweet.
That's super cool. Well, anything else that you feel like it would be a really great lesson while we have this exciting audience?
The Rivals of Amzia King
Yes.
with Matthew McConaughey.
And you weren't even in the country when you booked it.
That booking was fantastic because we were in Prague and we had just come out of an absinthe bar when you called.
And what time was it?
I think it was about 9:00 our time in Prague.
Okay.
I'm like, that was a fun booking, and that was a great shoot. Again, I had to be so uber prepared. I'm working with an Academy Award winner, directly with an Academy Award winner, and I'll tell you a little story. My first scene was with McConaughey, and there were hundreds of extras, a lot of kids. It was blistering hot, and right before we start shooting, and I'm in my zone, I'm doing my mental relaxation in my mind. I'm breathing, and the director came up and said, "So I want an Oklahoma accent."
The hell is that?
I just went, okay. And I turned around, I kept breathing, and I'm like, let me do what I think an Oklahoma accent sounds like. And I guess it worked because he didn't say anything. But you've got to be ready for anything. Seconds before action. He said, okay, I think I want this accent. Oh my God, that would have been something I would have loved to have had weeks before I shot, and I would have nailed the accent. I did it. I got through it. He was fine. So, here's hoping.
That's huge, though, because it could be anything. It could be. Now, we also need you to carry this bag in with you,
It could
and
be
you're
as
like,
simple as
and
that.
you- yeah,
Absolutely.
they could throw you anything.
Anything.
So remind me one more time, because I think that there's a lot of value in your 3 Ps as well.
I am professional.
Professional.
I am prepared.
Okay.
And I come from a place of peace.
And that
That's
should
my
help
inner
you in
peace.
any situation.
In
Well, it clearly
life,
does.
In life, yeah. And that's what I teach. And I love it when I say that and people go, oh, and they write it down like, good, all right. I got through. That's going to serve you well. Because what we do is nerve-wracking, walking on set. And there's Robert De Niro. And you're like, okay. Inside, you're like, oh.
And Schwarzenegger, didn't you play Schwarzenegger's wife?
Schwarzenegger's wife. You
Yeah,
haven't
man.
lived until Arnold Schwarzenegger has gone. Inside, I'm going. Schwarzenegger just did that, and I'm like, I stayed in the moment. I was there, but
It's because you're a pro.
you have to be.
You have to
You
be.
have to
You're
be.
getting paid over $1,000 for the day. It's not delivering pizzas. Like this is not that that's easy either. Nothing.
Yeah,
It's
right.
all a job.
Right.
But this one comes
Right.
with a lot of stress and a lot of money around you and a lot of pressure and a lot of things that you don't have control over.
Absolutely. And you have control over. I have control over what comes out. I have control of the work I do on my character as an actor. That's it. That's the only control. So I have to trust everyone around me, starting with you, my friend.
And I'm gonna just continuously do the best I can.
I know
That's all we can do.
I know.
Same with you.
Yes.
We do the best we can, and we want it
Yes.
so bad.
I know. We do. And and as actors, we all want to be good stewards. It's not like, there are some people like, I'm going to be the best. I'm not that, I'm not that type of person. But we all want to do the job right. We all want to do the job well. We all want to, we all want an attaboy.
Because it can lead to more. I think that's probably one of the main reasons why. I'm a big believer in never looking at the job as a job, but this is just part of a career.
Absolutely.
And when you're focused on, I want a career, it changes the decisions that you make.
Tim Phillips has a great book called Auditioning for Your Career, Not the Job.
I got to read that.
It's a great book.
I love that.
And I go through it, and I still highlight things. I still read things from time to time. And I push that book all the time because I think every actor should read that book.
Thank you.
I don't get any money for that. You'll pay me later, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
All right, thank you.
You should get your own book going. That's what you should do. It's never too late. Could be the right time.
Yeah, it's
see.
things percolate. Yes, auditioning, because if you are so desperate in your audition, I just want this job. Oh my God, if I get this job, you know what's going to happen? How much money I'm going to make if I get this job? You're not going to get the job because they can smell it through the Zoom room, right? That desperation. But it's auditioning, and I know you've heard this 1,000 times, and Jesse has said it on his podcast. It's you're building the career, you're setting the groundwork, you're working with this casting director, and they're going to say, yeah, great, they did a great job for this audition, but you're not right for that role. Let's see them for the next one. They're always going to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Always going to remember. So, yeah, just keep it positive and take the pressure off. I know it's easy to say. But
Yeah, it is easy to say, but the more you say it, the easier it will become to put into practice too.
positive thinking.
Yeah.
Positive thinking. Get your mantras on. Do your meditation. Excuse me. I'm a firm believer in meditating, especially when I book a job.
Well, speaking of booking a job, I got one last question for you. You got a dream role?
Would somebody please give me a comedy?
Okay.
Please. If you're listening, I know we've tried recently.
It'll happen.
I think I was a little close.
It's just 'cause
I
you're
knew.
not funny, Kat. That's why.
Look, I am funny.
We're working on it. She's really funny. Come on.
I mean, I knew that audition that I just did. I knew I wasn't the right type, but dang, that would have been fun.
You're absolutely going to land
Some
it.
filthy lines in that scene that I thought would have been fun to see.
I think some of the greatest comedy is when it's not a comedy at all to the actor. They're just in a really intense situation. They're fighting for their objective so hard. And because of the conflict, there's humor.
Yeah.
So a really great actor or actress, like they're going to book a comedy just based on what they're doing with their partner sometimes.
Yes, for
Yes,
sure.
there's timing and beats and,
Yeah.
and the color and all that jazz too. But
And I know we don't have a lot of comedies here in this market, so
your time's coming.
We'll try.
Sooner than later.
Listen, I'm happy to work. I'm just happy to work. It doesn't matter. I'm happy to work.
I love that about you. And I think that's why you have such a long and like glorious career. I really do.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not above. There are some people that say I won't take X roles. This type of role, that type of role. I'm like, give it to me.
When it's really in front of you. One thing that Chase Paris has said that I really like is something along the sorry, Chase, something along the lines of like what's in the hand. Sometimes it's good to take what's in the hand because then it's real.
And you have one role in particular. You said, what else are you going to do on Friday? Because I was like, I'm not sure. What else are you going to do on Friday? Why don't you go make $1,000? I went, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I only make $100 off that, so it's like, who cares? It's not about. Sometimes it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's about the momentum.
Yes.
It's about the casting director.
Yes.
It's about the director. It's about
Yes.
who you're going to work with. There's so many reasons to take a job.
Momentum. Absolutely. And it's it can be like this, but we keep pushing.
Well, it's not a comedy, but I do have a free car for you today for being a guest on our show.
Car, oh my God.
Sarah got me the Star Wars bag. If you want to reach in there and pull out your lucky car, don't look.
I'm not.
It's got to be a surprise. Someone already got the Tesla.
Oh, well, I wish I'd had one.
What'd you get?
I got what did I get?
You got
I
a
got
convertible.
I got a convertible. I got a
Stingray
Stingray
convertible.
convertible.
Nice.
I'll take it.
You'd look good in that car.
And you know what? I love that color, which I guess that beautiful blue is out front, which is
No, I like
is
it.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Blue's my favorite color.
Right?
Never
Blue's
had a
my
car.
favorite color too.
Really?
Yes.
It's the eyes.
Yes.
Did your family always tell you that you look good in blue because you have blue eyes? growing
No,
up?
I was number 5 of 6 kids. I was lost. I was like, where's the 5th one?
I love that. Well, thank you again so much for being here, for dropping so much information. I truly believe that you and your professionalism and your career can help thousands of people if they just listen and put into practice the things that you've taught.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I've said before, I wish I had had a Me or a Drama Inc. when I was coming up,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of good information out there. I just listen and put into place. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you too.
Thank you.
And thank you to everybody for watching. I hope that you got something out of today. And if you would like to be a guest on this show and have your own good booking story with a educational lesson, feel free to pitch it directly to us. The email is talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Again, that is talentagenttalk@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks again so much for watching. And if you loved that story and were interested to learn more about the casting office that actually cast that show, then I have some really cool news because our sister show, Get Seen Unscripted, actually had them on the show. So you'll see it right here. Do not miss that episode. Over an hour on one-on-one with that casting director, talking about things that they like, don't like, to help give you the edge in your next audition. So thanks again so much for tuning in and watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you on the next one.